Hey there, UKGCers. It's time for another one of these. I'm just recovering from the lurgy or whatever the hell I've had for the last week or so. Just recovering now, which is why my voice is still a little bit off, but I'm feeling well enough to shoot a video kind of thing, and it's well overdue. So, without further ado, this is the MKM Cellina, pronounced Cellina like cello, as told to me by Slick. Apparently he was talking with MKM and they told him that it's a Cellina. I think it's named after a river or something, but go and watch his review on this if you want the accurate details, because he's the man that actually knows. I'm just giving you second-hand information. So you get it in this box here, which is, you know, just your standard nice MKM affair. That's just a Heine receipt. And there you go, you just get that, and you get your leaflet with your warranty information. There you go, Lorax, purchased from Heine. So this was $98.95 on Heine Haynes. You can get it in a variety of different styles, flavours, whatever you want to say. You can get it in titanium, bronze titanium, titanium with, is it titanium? I think it is titanium with Santos wood, titanium with Makata. Or you can get it in this, which is just the cheapest one, the aluminium with a black anodization. If I was buying this again, I'd probably actually go with the Makata one, which is just Makata here and then a titanium bolster. I think that one's actually the nicest looking, but I wasn't sure how much I was going to like this, so and I already had the Farah at the time. I was thinking I was going to swap one of them anyway, so I just went with the cheapest one to be safe. Wish I'd gone with the Makata one now, because it turns out I've swapped the Farah already, so it is what it is. I'll get this out of the way quick. It pertains to the warranty anyway, which is fantastic. So this came with a less than stellar edge. If you want to go see, if I haven't put it up on screen, go and check my Instagram.
Just got the Cellina in. First impressions is uploading right now, but can you see just at the plunge down here how awful the grind is? And then look at the tip, how there isn't actually a tip. Look at that. The grind doesn't make it all the way up to the point. Whereas on this side, look at that, it's fine. Definitely hits it. On this side, nah.
To MKM's credit, they offered me to send it back to them and they'd sort that out or give me a new one or whatever. You know, they're absolutely fantastic warranty service. I declined because I can reprofile it myself. I can, you know, I've done an alright job, I think. You know, that's a fairly even, especially now I've got that Lansky system. So I'm not paying the postage to send it back and waiting all that time for something I can fix myself. It's just, would have been nice to get it in the, you know, with a decent edge from the factory. But as they said to me, 1 in 1,000 can happen, and that's absolutely true, and they offered to fix it, so they can't really have done anything better. So I'm not holding it against them at all in this review, which is why I'm getting it out of the way now, because I don't think it reflects badly at all. Another thing to quickly note is there's actually some damage to the anodization there. That is all my fault. That is where I've been sharpening it and using it and stuff. If you get the aluminium one, it's something to be aware of. If you're clumsy like me, you may well wear out the anodization, as you can with any anodization. However, you will not get it in this condition. You will get it perfect. There won't be any issues with the anodization here or anywhere. And you can see the anodization has fared a lot better where it hasn't been anywhere near a sharpening stone. So don't let that put you off. That's all me as well. Also, I'll get this out of the way quickly. It comes with this phenomenal little leather pouch. I'm really solidly impressed by this. This is actually quite thick leather, really high quality stuff. This is, you get your little magnet clasp there. It comes brown, by the way, which I wear black work trousers, as a lot of people do in like a formal work environment. So brown's a bit out for me. You're probably going to want to take some shoe polish to this and just change it black like I have here. And I think it's come out really well, to be honest. Originally it was this colour where you can see the MKM. I thought I'd leave that because you're supposed to put this in a pocket, and then this goes over the pocket, and then that sort of like clasps like that, and then you can just reach in your pocket and pull the knife out. I don't do that. I just put my belt through here, or put this like just over like that. And it's really good because if someone's coming that you don't really want them to see what you're carrying kind of thing, or you know they're going to freak out, or you're just not sure, you can just quickly like pull this off and put it in your pocket. I've ridden my bicycle with this on my belt, all sorts, and this is not a weak magnet. It has fallen off. If you just try and yank the knife out, this will come straight off your belt. You have to just put a little finger there and then pull it out sort of like that, but you get used to that real quick. Like, I thought that was going to be a lot clunkier. You don't have to just use this for that Cellina, obviously, but it actually accepts a lot bigger knives than you might think. This thing, no problem, to be honest. I've been using this quite a lot in there, and it's a nice solid fit. Things like this, look at that, fits in there perfectly, the proper, and you can just pull that out. So major props to them for this. This is a really nice pouch. This is probably the best one I've seen that's been included with a production knife. It beats out that Viper one. It beats out the Fox ones were quite good, but they're not quite this good. And it really beats the Farah's one. The Farah's one is almost the same, but it's just fixed here, and it's really thin. Although it does come black as standard, and you don't have to take shoe polish to it. Anyway, so this comes with Teflon washers, which is a bit of a shame, but I understand why they're doing it. It's they require less maintenance. You don't really need to oil them or anything like that. They're pretty much self-lubricating, I think. I'm pretty sure it's just so you never have to take this apart. So that's fair enough. I've no real issue with. I mean, I would have preferred phosphor bronze myself, but I completely understand why they've gone Teflon. And if it doesn't bother you, or you don't take your knives apart anyway, it shouldn't be an issue. My big hang-up with them is that if you're not ultra careful when you're taking a knife apart and you pinch any of those Teflon washers with this, that's it. The washer's dead. Phosphor bronze, it just won't let you put it through, because it's metal. But if it's Teflon, you can pinch it and then you've ruined it. So, action on this. Yeah, it's actually all right. It's not the greatest torque, but the walk is fantastic. It's a bit of an empty, dull thud when it goes home, but it really does. It feels quite satisfying to actually activate. You get your half stop there, and a nice solid clunk home. It sort of breaks about there, and then it snaps to there, and then there you go all the way to about there, and it snaps home. The spring strength will be on screen for you now because I can't remember off the top of my head. There you go. It is a non-captive T8 pivot with 2 T6 screws on the back space of the spring here. You do get your little lanyard hole, whichever one you get, which is sort of just added on the end there, which is quite nice. I actually like that. It's completely off of the aluminium. It goes off of the back spring, which is very stylish. Well, grip and guard. Do you know, when I first bought this, I sort of just said this was just a smaller Farah, and I sort of stand by that. It is just a smaller Farah, and the Farah is very comfortable in hand for me, so I figured this was just going to be a worse knife all around. I didn't see myself liking this one too much because the Farah was so seemingly perfect at its size that I couldn't see how this one was going to ever sort of beat it out for pocket time kind of thing. But I got to tell you, this really just grips your hand. Like that shape is just phenomenal for all 4 of your fingers. Just barely, like you only barely get your pinky on there, but they do really just sit in there very, very tightly, very nicely. And you get a bit of jimping right here to it's not enough to close the blade on. You can't do it because this edge stops you, which is you know, nice enough, but you can still push the blade. So, I mean, maybe the gym pin should have been here. Well, that is too far back, really. Maybe if it was like half on and half on the spring, I think that would have been the good balance. But, you know, either way, the grip on this is absolutely spot on. It actually shocked me with how good this sits in your hand. I really wasn't expecting it to be this good. I thought this was just going to be a smaller, inferior Farah, and it really isn't inferior. It's just different. So, you know, shocked at that. Editing out here, just realised I didn't mention whether it would cut you if it fell to the half stop position. It doesn't. It's very neatly, the blade falls just before where your finger grips. It will cut you if it goes any further than the half stop, but the half stop is completely safe, so if it snaps to that, no worries. Fit and finish overall on this, on mine, it's phenomenal. I've heard the centering on these is a bit hit or miss, but all I can, as with all of these, all I can show you is what I've got, and I can't, you know, unless other people show me, or other reviewers, go and watch other people, never take one person's review as gospel. But all I can show you is what I've got in front of me, and I think that's pretty damn spot on. It's maybe a touch one side, but that's well within for me. I'm fine with that. I don't have any issues whatsoever with the centering on this one. I do really like that they haven't done a nail nick on this. I'm such a fan of just different. Nail nick is just, it's just the boring. I couldn't think of anything interesting to do, so I put a nail nick on it. To me, it's the de facto, the default. Do you know what I mean? It's just such a standard. I know it's functional, but you know, that's all it is. It's not stylish. It doesn't look good. I mean, even if you're doing something small with it, like you know, adding a match striker, or something like this, where you're making it comically big, you know, just at least you're doing something else. Just a standard nail nick is just boring. So I really appreciate that they've actually put an effort into designing something else there. You know, that's a nice looking, like, sort of teardrop kind of design. Big fan of that. But yeah, like I said, other than that, fit and finish on this, it's designed around being a production knife, of course. You know, there's nothing crazy, like there's no like ultra smooth transitions or anything by design. But you know, there's no sharp edges, there's nothing to catch on really. The transition between scale to back spine to scale is all fine. So onto the blade material. This is M390. Edge retention on this, again, take my edge retention with a grain of salt, because it's really piddly office use, or office style use anyway. But it's been fantastic for me. I have resharpened this, obviously, because I resharpened it once because of you know, the initial issue, and then I touched it up on my Lansky to, you know, because I'm crap at sharpening on stone, and the Lansky did a better job than I did. But you know, it's absolutely fantastic. So I mean, and I have been abusing it since I've put it on that Lansky. I've really tried to dull this, basically, since I resharpened it, because, you know, I wanted to try and keep it fair. So I've really been smashing this through cardboard, and nothing. That's what M390 should be like. I shouldn't notice. You know, there will come a time when I have to sharpen this, and I'll be like, oh well, and then just quickly strop it or something. But yeah, nothing. I've been running this for a while. You know, this is well overdue a review as well, but I haven't had a single issue with this. I haven't had to resharpen it once. I've just chosen to resharpen it. So, in my eyes, the steel is fine. Obviously, I don't know what the HRC is or anything like that, but it seems fine to me. Behind the edge, thickness on this is 14 thousandths behind the edge, but it's slicey enough. You sort of get a sharpening choil, and this is my issue number one with this knife, is the plunge and sort of the choil and how far this comes in front. Now, it's very nice stylistically. I do really like how that sort of like the bolster area interacts with the blade. But from a sharpening standpoint, that's such a pain in the ass, because when you put it on that stone, instead of just starting here and going like that, if you do that, you're going to end up doing this to your anodization or scratching your titanium. You have to have it like that and then come down like that. And you really have to slow down when you're sharpening this on a stone, because if you start going fast, you're just going to bang into that stone, and then that's going to, you know, that's basically what those marks are. So that's a small issue. Like I said, I've got a land ski, and I just took the blade off and did it on the land ski just separate, and that worked fantastically. Because even with the land ski, this gets in the way, because the sort of, it's these on the land ski, and when you come at it, it sort of tries to grind on this bit here, so it's not ideal. It's really not the end of the world though. You just have to be a lot more careful. And like I said, the steel on this is fantastic anyway. I might not even have noticed that if the edge it came with was, you know, really good. So, you know, it's just something I've noticed because I've had to reprofile this basically. Billboarding on this, you just get your MKM, Maniaggio, Italy, and Lucas Burnley design, and M390 on that side. And it's a lovely sort of just, you know, your satin grind finish on that. So it's actually a very pleasant blade. I do like the look of the plunge line as well, even if it sort of makes sharpening a bit, well, it's more the bolster that makes sharpening annoying. The plunge line's fine. But yeah, it is what it is. Blade play, nothing. Centering I've already mentioned. Let's do a length comparison for you. So there's that one, there's the mini grip, there is a Benchmade 940, and there is a Spyderco PM2. For the UK we have the UK PK, we have the Pioneer, and we've got the Classic SD. There you go. So value on this thing, I think it's all right. You know, for the materials you're getting, the M390 on this seems to be fantastic. You know, on a lot of knives, getting good M390 is £100 on its own without any thought to the handle material. This is a nice design. It's a good blade material, and the handle material is fine. You know, what's this in the market against? I guess it's up against this, which is from the same company, so it doesn't really matter. I guess sort of this, if you get the S110V, you know, comparable steel. It's up against this, which is, it has much better steel than. Yeah, there's some stiff competition. It's really not bad though. If you look at what it's up against, especially for the materials you're getting, and ignoring the weird issue I got with mine, like I said, they'd have fixed that anyway. The quality that you're getting as well. Like I said, it's got a nice action. It feels great in the hand. It's well finished. It's well centered, at least on mine. I'm not seeing any downsides to this thing. So value-wise, I think it's actually one of the better value knives out there right now. You know, at least in its price range. It's you know, it's quite justifiable to me. obviously to each their own. This was surprisingly fantastic. When I first got this and it had that weird issue, I was a bit down on it, to be honest. Then it had Teflon washers, and again, it's not ideal for me personally, so wasn't perfect. So and then, you know, I had the bigger Farah already, and I thought it's very similar to the Farah. It's got the same sort of pivot collar, the same, you know, it's Lucas Burnley design as well, this one, just like the Farah. So I didn't see what this was going to offer that the Farah didn't already do better. And I tell you one thing, it really does do better, and that is poke. So for getting into boxes, sealed boxes and things like that, which I have to do quite a lot to get, you know, stock and stuff out of, and, you know, things for the shop floor and all that kind of stuff, just poking in and then it just glides down. This, I haven't found a knife that does that better. This is the best pokey knife I forgot. Here we go, if I sort of do it on here, so you can just sort of like, it just goes straight in. It's just so good for it. And then I can pull in, reach in, get whatever I'm getting, and then just, yeah, I'm that guy, I do that at work. But it just goes in there with no resistance. It's so nice to have a knife that you can just poke into any corner of the box and just open it like that. And it's a really weird niche that I didn't think I needed, but you know, using other knives like I don't know, sort of like this one. You know, I carry this one occasionally. This one is obviously crap at poking into corners and doing that with it, because of the blade shape. But you know, it's also just a bit tall. This one, where it's a very big, like, you know, very pointy, it's just so good at it. It really surprised me with how good it did that specific job. So if you open a lot of boxes without, you know, completely breaking them down, this is a great knife to go for, at least in that respect. Otherwise, it's still a great knife. It's not expensive, you know, compared to others in its sort of material range. It's very well made. It's well finished. You know, I really think MKM have knocked it out of the park again. I actually do really like this little Cellina. I wasn't expecting to like this anywhere near as much as I did. Like I said, I bought it in an aluminium, sort of because it was the cheapest one, because I figured I'd just keep my Farah, and then once I'd finished reviewing this, move this on. I really wish I'd got it in my car now, because I really want to keep this around. However, this is fine. I'll make do with this.